Me discussing Teacot in 11 minutes or less. I promise that, okay? 11 minutes or less, that's all I need. So, you saw the thumbnail. So, we became a slogan now. This guy was in there. And yeah. A little, nostalgic there, not to mention, I've done armatures like this before. That's how I made Lisk. I did the same thing. I did like a swivel, fumble armature figurines, paper clips, and fold them out, fold them in. This might as well be a Cooper and Cleaver kind of reference because he's built the same way as well as that claymation was done. Remember Soldier of the Stones? That's the same figure aesthetic, but this guy is made out armature concepts. It's like you just you fold and increase copper wire or whatever metallic wiring you got, and you can fold the armature that I can use around the clay for these things. So we're gonna mostly talk about in this video, however, 1 minute already done them. Mostly about the story of Teacot and even just the idea of it being a children's media. Okay, so I'm gonna put him down. You'll see him again at the end of the video, I promise. He's only like 10 minutes away now. No disrespect though. The Christopher Columbus A Time Travel has a very similar approach that you might see in shows like Coffin and Lele and even the Amazing Digital Circus. It's very much the same thing. It's like not in NSFW or even in like a all audiences. I do have a target audience with this show, not to mention the show of our crossover as a whole. But there is a approach that I'm going with this. There are obvious people of interest that are this is targeted to in the first place. If you know, you know. And then there's even just the idea of it being a storyline driven series to be specific, and even just generally being cool and interesting, as claymation usually is. Because if you didn't know already, like stop motion animation, yada yada yada. Now, also not to mention horror and science fiction. So with Teacot, the biggest thing about this show as a whole, if you get aside from the characters, which I'll get into if I have time, the characters, the plot, Teacot, its goal is to teach children and teenagers and even other audiences, if possible, about playing fair. And a good example I can give about this is JG Quintel's regular show. He's very silly. You could tell like his show is very crack-headed. Like his original shorts were people doing crack on acid, and they were like literally like being a guy up with a chair, and very crude things. But when he actually made the show for Cartoon Network, and I'm being very facetious here because I know that he meant well when he made his show for children, but he is very crude with his humor. He's very much realistic as people can be, memeable if not. Jack, however, Jackson, this guy, he is able to tell a story in concept through cartooning that plays fair with children and teenagers because he understands his impact on people as well. Because Penalty Ward did the same thing with Adventure Time. With a lot of these shows, if you can approach it in a way where you get it right, you have a audience that understands why you make it what you're making, and even if they don't know the whole idea behind it, they can still like it, and then there you go. That's my same goal with Teacot. I actually wanted to make like things like my claymation more approachable for audiences I chose, and I'm not being specific right now. Let's just bring in a few obvious things about Teacot. Claymation, okay, a possible black and white grimoire style if like Coffee Indian Layla. If I don't do that, I'll do the color schemes as well, but or even only. But or it could even look like a college core or like a or vaporwave kind of effect, kind of like the way Willy Wonka. But Teacot will not be as horrifying as an actual horror genre for claymation would be. Like you think like Coraline or say freaking Lee Hardcastle's claymations or what's the other one called? Gibbler, like the other claymation animators on YouTube. Yeah, it's not gonna be any really that horrifying. It's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like the horror claymation you hear about in recent years, like some of the other ones that we all heard about like last year actually. Those are really good. No, it will not be that horrifying. No, Teacot is very not girly. I won't say it's like it's not. Christopher Columbus A Time Travel is not like playing sissy face. It's what it's doing is that it's being a little more PG rated so that it won't affect the audiences poorly by being too gruesome and not appropriate for children or teenagers. But what it will do is that it will give them something to work with. So there's a character you probably remember this, Oval Stone. He dies in the first part of the series, and like the prologue actually. He dies in the first 5 minutes of the prologue episode, and let alone the pilot, I guess you could call it. But like Opal will die in the first 5 minutes, and the idea was that his death would be off screen, so it wouldn't be too gruesome, but he would mechanically be dead. And my dad, I talked to my dad about this a little bit. He knows about this. He suggested that maybe Opal doesn't have to die. He might be able to survive so that he can come back to produce more parts of the story. And his ideas are very genuine. He thought about like making Opal a bit more of like a shaman who gets psychic and looks into the spiritual world and tries to connect with the characters again. And that was cool. I love that he came up with that. But for one thing, I already spare characters throughout the show anyways. Like Parcel will also die. Plot twist. I mean, spoiler alert. But he will survive certain, like many characters, including the main characters that survive towards the end of the series, will almost die multiple times. Opal dies for a reason, and so this horror aspect has to exist in order to make Teacot the way it is. But is Teacot horrifying the way it could be? No, of course not. It has to approach children and teenagers the way it's trying to, and that's what I go for. With something that is seemingly like approachable, I don't mean to make Teacot something that it isn't. Like, I mean, science fiction might be a bit of a bluff because there's not really any like legitimate science in that show. And as a matter of fact, Teacot is more spiritual than anything. Like, considering most of the content I consume on YouTube is already like about tarot and astrology. So it's not that I don't care about claymation. It's just that when I actually have that talent and skill for it, I'm not going to give it up all of a sudden. Like, you know this. Like whoever is close to me in that realm of YouTube with claymation and stop motion animation, I don't give up my talents and skills. I just want to be able to be working with them, negotiate with them to make what I want, and still make the audience what they want. Yeah. So I appreciate what might be able to be possible with this. Okay, to a little bit of a tangent, but still relevant. I need voice actors. I need the voice actors so bad. I can't voice all these characters by myself. Like, there's like 8 characters on average that voice throughout the show, like throughout the trilogy. I need voice actors. Come on, guys, help me with this. Give me like at least 2 people to voice Boyd Cascade and maybe Chris, and I'll do Lisk and Andromeda on my own. And I'll do Parcel and someone else voice Angus. Please help me with this. We don't need Gate. We don't need Opal really. We don't even need Cherry or Samantha or freaking Samantha is the teacher. And then that's it. And we don't need X's and Y's yet. He'll come out in like the next book. We need voice actors. We need voice actors for sure. Visual effects if I can't do them, and then marketing if it helps. But voice actors for sure. And one more thing. Yes, Teacot, in large part, is not only possible because of my own experiences with claymation and with my own life story as told Cashman. It is possible because of what I went through inspired that life story. And I won't even say YK this time. My kid. Yes, because 8+ months in advance, when I started making Teacot for the first time, you guys remember the origin story, how Teacot came about? It's a spinoff of Algebres, and the thing is that Teacot would be a what-if story for Lisk Cunningham if he had his own story, a horror science fiction of that version, for Claymation's sake. And then it would be a story where Lisk gets to live out his own ideals and experiences. That's why Opal dies instead of living longer like in Algebres, which is applicable anyways. But Opal will die immediately as like a horror aspect. Christopher will actually learn how to blueprint time travel with the inventions he makes for the science fiction effect. And then this is a show that will either go viral, I kid you not, or it will make me eligible for a lot of other events like Comic Palooza, so like hosting or boothing a table event over there, if not San Diego Comic-Con. And then maybe I'll be able to turn to a film festival or collaborate with other YouTubers. And I'm not looking too far ahead, but again, I need the voice actors really bad, guys. I really need them. Because once I get this off and rolling with the background design, the stage design, and some of the visual effects and the audio editing and the lighting, and I actually do the claymation efforts for this, when I actually do the footage for this, I'm going to need those voice actors. I can't stress that enough. Please give me voice actors. For those of you who see this right now, go on Twitter X, go on Reddit, go on Steam, go on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I'm on some of those platforms anyways, but go there and find some voice actors. I'll look for them too. I have some good friends of mine that might be willing to help me, but like some will do like some visual effects as well in marketing. We need them. The VAs, I know Aloe Vera might help, Jetty VA might help again. I don't know if Morgan Long knows a few of them, but I'll try. Some people from the Confident India Layla McKinney might be able to help as well, because they know I've been in there a little bit. But, so for one more minute, why did I make this Armature figure without making any relevance besides its own custom thumbnail and maybe it had nothing to do with Tikon. I mean, I'm gonna try to put this in like a part of Space City, the second book, which he's relevant in. He might be like the beta robot before I make Crowd the Clockwork. Because spoiler alert, Crowd the Clockwork will be in TikTok in the second book. He'll be a tease after this robot goes in there. Because the idea is that this robot will be like seek and destroy. And then Crab will go in once he's defeated, and then Crab will be defeated, but he'll be vanquished in some other way. So whatever this guy is, good entertainment value there. But beyond that, this is just a bit of a discussion about T-Cut. And the other guitars, I'll learn piano and guitar over time, make their theme song music. And kind of content, which I don't edit in the meantime anyways for some reason, like the last few months and years or maybe. Yeah. So he's a jerk face for now in the Christopher Columbus, the time travel. Stay still because so much on the move. And also, the best things ideal, the best things promised life is fair by default.